a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, LaCueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As LaCueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the LaCueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
You guys should believe. Like you should believe in your team. And you should believe me. You have the tape to play back when we picked. I mean, not that I like to brag right now. I just had a feeling.
like
last
picking.
night. What's that?
I don't like picking games.
Is that right? Why?
Then you can't talk about the game. Just talk about the wrong selection.
No, I rarely talk about that. I will, because we're going to talk about the game. I'm going to tell you why I picked it, because it feels like almost everything that I said that they had to do to win the Nuggets last night, almost, except for one thing, played out last night, and Denver's got a 109-94 lead in the NBA, or a 109-94 win and a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals. How you guys feeling? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, DC, Nugget fans, you feeling better this morning?
Of course, you're feeling better this morning. It's still, it's
Don't be mad
an
at me.
absolute joy to watch Nikola Jokic play basketball.
Yes.
You can take your boring and non-personality, oh, it's Spurs 2.0. That's great. Like, this is what sports is about. It's about winning. It's not about off-the-court drama all the time. It's not about, hey, look at me, look at this, I'm fantastic. No, it's about going out there and getting the job done, and that is all the Joker does.
I'm going to address the word boring at some point today because I don't get it when it comes to this. I really don't. Are you feeling better over there?
Yes, quite a bit.
All right. A number of things yesterday. Just a number of things. The only that I thought that they needed to do that didn't happen is Michael Porter. I thought had to play better, and they're not getting anything out of him. I told you I really thought Murray had to have a big game, right? I just think he had to be great, and he was. 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists from Jamal Murray. Another triple-double, and an incredible one. 32, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists from Nikola Jokic. And I agree with you 1,000%. He is so fun to watch, and I'll hit it now. What is boring about a 7-foot dude that can run the court, that can handle the ball? I'm not telling you he's Magic Johnson, but he can handle the ball and lead a break. Who is, I don't know, give me a better passer in the NBA right now. You got one? Do you have a better passer in the NBA right now? He is, if not the best, I'll argue one of the best in the NBA, period, right now. He can shoot the three. He is unstoppable in the paint. And so because he's not doing windmill dunks, he's boring. Like you're going to have to, somebody's going to have to explain to me what is boring about watching Nikola Jokic.
To me, absolutely nothing. The dude is just a bucket getter. He understands the game at the highest level. It's, oh, I'm open for three, no, pump fake, go inside, low spin move, step back, Jay, in your face. And Jeff Van Gundy is in awe of this man's touch, as am I.
Yeah.
He's like, how is it that every time this dude is inside, goes up a shot, bounces off the rim, bounces off the glass, and falls in? And it is just unbelievable, the two-man game, when it is clicking for the Nuggets. Because this wasn't a game where you're watching and you're like, man, Michael Porter Jr., KCP, they're spreading the floor, they're hitting shots. Aaron Gordon is the X factor for this team. I know we've tried to say it's Michael Porter Jr. The dude's been invisible in the NBA Finals. The games that the Nuggets have won, Gordon's been solid. and you've gotten superstar performances from your superstars.
So I can't agree with you more, and I'll listen to it today. If you want to convince me, and the phone lines are open and they're there for you, text line is open, the email machine, the Twitter, it's all open for you. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. That's the 377 Brewery hotline. 505-246-0610. Put it in your phone. That's also the text line, so you can text us there as well here on the Sports Animal. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I'm at Twitter. Hit JJ at _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, you can watch the show. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. It's on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on Comcast Channel 26. So a guy who is 7 feet 265, something along that line. Am I shortchanging him? I don't even know what he's officially. I'll find what he's officially listed at. But who can handle the ball better than? I mean, give me a big guy in history who's handled the ball better than him, who runs the floor, who can lead the break at 7 feet. Do you got one? Is it Luka? Is it Kevin Durant? I mean, is he in that category?
And those aren't your typical big guys.
Well, no, they're not centers.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic is listed at 6'11", 284. Okay, but I think he's a 7-footer. All right, who is as unstoppable as anybody we've seen since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the paint. Again, if I'm hyperbolic, call me out. You got somebody better in the paint since Kareem? Is it Shaquille?
Shaq.
Okay, all right, I'll listen. All right, so as unstoppable in the paint since Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, it's Shaq.
Okay, and I would go back even to Kareem, but okay. And who shoots the ball, I'm not going to tell you he's Steph Curry. But I'll put him up there with Dirk Nowitzki. He just doesn't shoot it as much. His moves in the paint are, I mean, can we go back to Kevin McHale? Is that where I'm going?
Well, it's not the dream shake. It is its own thing. Yeah.
It's as effective as what? So somehow the dream shake was better because you felt it was more fluid or more graceful? With all respect, I'm listening, and if you want to tell me it's boring, I'll listen to you. I just don't know that you're going to convince me of it. But you brought up the word right off the top. I heard it on the way coming in. I hear it all the time. I don't know, man. If you want to call him, if he becomes a champion and you say boring champion, I think he'll have zero problem with it. But I don't understand the label. And if you guys want to help me with it, fine. Was Jamal Murray boring last night? Hardly. How was Jamal Murray last night? That's the guy you need, by the way. And this was my argument yesterday when I was telling you, like, he was good. He was fine in game 2. He was good in game 1. But this was the guy you need. This is the duo. And after the game, Michael Malone, their head coach, said this was their best performance as a duo in their time together because it was in the NBA Finals, and they had each of them had a 30-plus point triple-double. That's amazing. That's never been done.
No. Credit Michael Malone for keeping Jamal Murray in the game
to get
until
his
the last
rebound.
4 seconds
That's fine.
to grab the final shot of the game to get that triple-double. But everything else you said was right on Jamal Murray. What I liked about the game is it wasn't for Murray, who hit 12 field goals, it wasn't 12 tough shots. Like, he hit his tough shots, those step backs, those, all right, the play is broken down, I'll get you that tough bucket. But he was aggressive, he was working inside. And Jamal Murray and Jokic, you look down, and they score 30-plus points, and they combined for 4 3-point shots. Like, they were destroying the Miami Heat inside.
Yeah, I agree with you on Murray. And by the way, would it have been any more or any less impressive if he had 34, 10, and 9? Would that have made his game any less impressive? I get
wouldn't have been as historic.
Right, it wouldn't have been. No, you couldn't have said triple-double. But would he have been any less impactful?
No, not at all.
But see what I was saying in regards to he had to be great. Now, if he was good last night, would they have won? I think they would have still won last night because the Miami Heat
wouldn't have been up by double digits in the second half.
Maybe
they wouldn't
not.
have been able to run away from the Miami Heat. But there's nothing new about this. You get to this point, you know the recipe for the Denver Nuggets of how they need to be successful. You know what works for the Miami Heat. Now, the one thing that I'm done with in this series is sometimes you just get beat. Like the Nuggets, they got beat in game 2. The Heat got beat last night. It's not always about you're not giving enough effort, because the Miami Heat tried to run that same line out there last night as though they weren't as physical. They don't know why they didn't bring the energy. No, he just got beat, man.
No, they didn't play well. They had 2 guys that contributed. Caleb Martin had 10, but outside of Bam, Bam and Butler scored 50 of their 94. And we're going to get into the rest of their roster and where were they. 505-246-0610. Kevin, get us started. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Kevin?
It's another word, not boring, predictable.
Okay.
Predictable. Miami looks like an 8th seed. They don't have a post. It's predictable.
Okay.
Yeah, predictable. I mean, JJ, your protege there just said it. Predictable. All of this stuff looks predictable.
Okay.
You know, it just is. I get a lot of things done. One of your guys said when the game's not going well, I go and get something done. So it's predictable. And Lobo Sports, too, is just kind of predictable, you know, all this. With all the hype, Miami is an 8th seed, you know, going in there, and it looks like it. So this is the best we could do.
All right, Kevin. Appreciate you. Thanks. I guess, did they look like an 8th seed in game 2? Was that predictable? Let me ask you this. Steph Curry, I know he's going to shoot the 3. Is that predictable?
Yep.
LeBron gets the ball at the top of the key, dribbles, and 6 seconds, I know he's going to the rim. Is that predictable? I mean, I'm not sure I buy it. What's predictable about Jokic's game that he's going to – honestly, I would argue with you that he is, if the word is predictable, the least predictable. Curry gets to the rim a lot more than he gets credit for shooting, but Jokic gets the ball. Is he going to shoot? Is he going to pump fake and go? Is he going to pass? I mean, is it predictable that the 1 seed's beating the 8th seed? Maybe. I mean, if you're going by the numbers, but what happened in game 2? How'd the 8th seed get here? That's not predictable. Is it predictable that in the finals you got the 1 over the 8? I mean, maybe when it's all said and done, you might be able to say that. I don't know that I buy that. And by the way, well, I guess I'm not going to agree with the predictable. Do you?
Oh, it's predictable if you say you know their style and what they have to do.
You know everybody's style by now. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing that is shocking you outside of rotation changes, maybe inserting someone in the starting lineup like the Heat did in game 2 and got a really good performance out of Kevin Love. Like last night for me, the Nuggets just matched the Heat and they won some of those 50-50 balls. They played hard. The rebounding margin was insane, 55-38 in favor of the Denver Nuggets. And so they were able to at least, you know, chip into what Miami wants to do. And again, this is one of the most efficient offenses in NBA playoff history. The Denver Nuggets have now.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to buy it. Predictable. I don't know that in fact, this has been one of the most unpredictable postseasons we've ever had, right? For the first time ever, after the first round, you had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8 remaining. You had lower seeds winning series at a pretty high clip. You've had road teams winning. I mean, Miami's lost 3 games in a row at home. That means they've been winning on the road as they've survived. No, I'm not going to – I don't think I'm buying the predictability.
If it's predictable, Kevin made a bunch of money.
I hope so.
Because, I mean, who expected an 8 to take out a 1 and a 2? Come on. That's not predictable.
And they're pushing this one. This isn't over yet either, by the way.
Not by a long shot.
Yeah, the Nuggets looked really good last night. This isn't over yet either. In fact, some of you were telling me it was over the other way after game 2. No, I'm not buying predictable or boring. But I'm listening. If you got another word or if you want to convince me, we're here for you at 505-246-0610. It's area code 505-246-0610. Do you find it to be predictable? Do you find it to be boring? I find it to be relatively entertaining. Now, was the game down to the wire last night as it was in game 2? It was not. Was it predictable at the end of game 2? Did you know Murray was going to miss that shot? Did you? I mean, if it's that predictable, like DC said, man, I hope you are cashing in. We'll play more on that word, boring. And how about your guy Drew Gordon Aaron
How
Gordon.
about
How
Drew
about
Gordon?
Drew Gordon's brother? But for the Heat, when we come back, they're singing the same song the Nuggets were singing. Same song. Does it sound as nice? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, DC, glad you're with us. Thursday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You're start 7. That one's on the way. That one misses. Rebound down to Jamal Murray. And that is a triple-double for Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic in the same game. And there's the horn. Denver takes Game 3 in Miami. The home court advantage goes back to the Nuggets. The final tonight, 109-94. Oh, man, that is huge.
That's how it sounded on Nuggets radio, courtesy of Kroenke Sports, up in Denver yesterday. 104 or 109-94 Nuggets take care of the Heat last night. And I'm as we analyze stuff, and I guess sometimes we people feel the need to be critical, and that's fine. As I'm walking down the hall, and I'm listening. Kevin called it predictable, and I don't agree, and I flat out don't agree that they're boring. But if you do, I'm listening. If this team played east of the Mississippi, let me just say, if this team was Philadelphia, first of all, y'all would, well, not y'all. I'm talking to a different audience. The nation would have already known about them, right? Mm-hmm. Would have already appreciated them. And I flat out don't think that anybody would be calling this team boring if they played in Philly. Or if they played in Boston. Well, maybe in Boston. Or Brooklyn. Or in D.C. Right? I think people, it's different. Can we go? If we're finding the need to put a label on this thing, and I really don't find that need, but you and I were both listening to the same thing on they're boring, and I'm like, what is boring about watching that club? Now, are they Golden State? Golden State's different. I was thinking, like, okay, who won the championship last year? Well, Golden State's different. Is Nikola Jokic that much of a different superstar than Giannis Antetokounmpo? When you talk about style of play, now, maybe personality-wise, okay.
Personality-wise, they're pretty similar.
I agree.
Giannis, every once in a while, he'll drop a dad joke in there, but he's not groundbreaking in his media availability, and I appreciate that. Like, to me, that's refreshing 100%. Because this is just dudes being real.
Yep.
This is who they are.
Yep.
And this is how Joker went from a second-round draft pick being drafted during a Taco Bell commercial to one of the best basketball players on the planet. Is that mindset, is how he handles himself on and off the floor. And to me, when I watch teams win, like, there's certain styles that might be a little bit more exciting. The Splash Brothers when they're spreading the floor. But if you look at the points per game, the efficiency, how the Nuggets are scoring, I don't see where it's necessarily boring. Giannis is more explosive, so you get more wow plays.
Fair.
At the basket. But isn't this what we want in sports? Is everyone always talks about team first. They hate the look at me players and the way the game has gone, and then all of a sudden this is the most boring NBA Finals?
Okay, you hit on something really interesting. I think those are the people who like this. I think those are the people who are arguing what you and I are arguing. I think the people who are telling you it's boring are the ones who appreciate, because obviously there's a faction that appreciates the me, look at me, ISO guy. Okay, if you're asking me, and I know you're not, but I don't give a damn, it's my show, my name's in the open, and I can give an opinion, right? If you're asking me, it's more boring to watch a guy dribble at the top, run the clock down to 7, and bully ball to the hole. And go, wow, what a great play. Okay, that was good. That's impressive. I'm not telling you it's not. I'd rather watch them move the ball, pick and roll, pass the ball, back cut, rebound, and then have the occasional dagger.
And that's what made the Warriors so fun to watch, is that style of play.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little less with the Nuggets because it's more of a two-man game that's dominated, but then you still have Joker picking them out, backdoor cut, finding the dudes. Jamal Murray, I thought he handled the double teams a lot better last night. That one play in the second half. Speaking of the Nuggets don't win the game, if Christian Brown,
how about that?
A rookie from Kansas, dropping 15 points, stepping up because
boring?
Michael Porter Jr. and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope decided not to play in the NBA Finals for the Denver.
How about his breakaway dunk? Was that boring?
That was fantastic. And the way
but it was predictable.
It's predictable. is I do enjoy it. Now, the one thing, and again, I think we're going to hit on this too.
Yeah.
If you lose the game, is it lack of effort? Because
That's where I was going.
At the back-to-back games. Now, I think Michael Malone, if you watch that game, it wasn't effort, but he used the word effort to describe his defensive mistakes that his team made. Yeah. And last night, now the Heat were saying, oh, we just didn't have the energy. We didn't have the effort. And those are ones that you're sitting there going, how is that possible?
To your point, sometimes you just get beat.
It's the NBA Finals, the first Finals game that they've played at home since 2014 because the bubble Finals was in a bubble.
That's right. That's right.
You don't have effort?
Yeah. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Chad.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
What's happening?
Yeah, I definitely don't think they're boring. I don't really get the whole label of boring to the Denver Nuggets. I think it's innovative. You have this very unique player who is now the center of the offense that you've never seen before in the history of the NBA, where you're using the big man's posting up down low. He can't shoot from the three-point line. I mean, you put Joker anywhere on that side of the court, and he's basically he's a threat. And that's just a unique thing. And the fact that he can pass and he's a good ball handler. That one play where he dribbled down the court, the full length of the court, and scored a layup in traffic I was blown away by that. I will say this though, in relation to, I think where there is a little bit of a disconnect because how many kids out there are 7 feet that can play this role? Whereas with Steph Curry, you have kids. I'm at the park all the time. I see kids shooting these half quarters, 30-foot shots all the time because they can. You can actually do that, and now the kids are starting to make them, and it's becoming the norm in where I'm at in middle school.
No, Chad, that's always been the way, and that's been my argument why Steph is so relatable. Way more of us are. we thought we were Steph Curry when we played hoops than Nikola Jokic. And this goes back, man, on the playground back in the day, how many kids were out there, I'm Kobe as opposed to Shaq. How many were Magic instead of Kareem? Yeah, very few of us are the big dominant guy. And that's why, I'll tell you personally, why I've always appreciated Steph and I love his game, because when a little guy can dominate, way more of us can relate to that than being the big physical dominant presence.
Definitely.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Chad. That's a great call. It's a great call.
No, I do enjoy dropping the rim down to 7 feet.
Look.
And posterizing some 7-year-olds.
All right. Now, we used to go down to the elementary school on those 8-foot rims and have fun. And I was going through some old pictures, and there's a shot. My buddy was in a photography class, and there's some shots of me dunking back in the day. I had hair and everything. It was awesome.
Do it from the right angle. You could put that on the wall and be like, I used to be able to do that back in the day.
Don't tell me I never dunked. I got pictures. But I firmly believe what he said. That's why people are always nobody's on the playground. I'm Nikola Jokic unless you're on the Nerf hoop against your kid. Then you're Nikola Jokic, right? You guys, when you start posting your kid up in the living room,
Jokic,
see, you can do that. I don't think he's wrong. The term boring, I think, is a cop-out. I think it's lazy. I think it's for people who did not watch this team and they're like, yeah, whatever. I'll stop short of telling you I think they're great. I'll stop short of using the word great. When they win the championship, and let's see how they win the championship, if they win the championship, we could start having that conversation. I will tell you that they're really good. And to your point, historically efficient, right? Numbers-wise.
Yeah. They, once again, Miami was the better three-point shooting team. Once again, Miami had an advantage, but it's inside.
Yeah.
And it starts with Jokic when Jamal Murray is doing his probing aggressiveness, hitting a turnaround jumper, but then getting someone else involved. They shredded the Heat. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't Miami not bringing the energy. The Nuggets responded to the little tweaks in Game 2 that the Heat threw out there defensively and shredded them.
You just hit on some, and maybe this is where the term boring comes from. Let me ask you this. What is more exciting? Is exciting the opposite of boring?
Yes.
Okay. What is more exciting? Watching a dude hit a three, or watching a dude spin in the lane or back his way down, or what Nikola Jokic says? What's more exciting to you? Okay, not an easy answer. You're both kind of going, huh? And this is where we're having the two sides of this conversation. This is where you can have a guy just go, they're boring. Guy back in it. I don't know, watching LeBron bully in against because he's way bigger than another dude. is kind of boring to me in that respect. I mean, not boring, but if we're categorizing these things, what Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray do is way more exciting to me than watching Max Strus shoot a three. Now, I'm not telling you one's boring, but that's where the modern day game is, JJ. You look at the number of threes, right? I mean, teams are shooting 30-something threes a game, right? That's where – how many did they shoot yesterday? How many attempts did Miami have? 35. They had 35 attempts from three. Nuggets had 18. So therein lies, I mean, the two differences in philosophies, right? What's the modern day game? You got to shoot the three. That's what you're told. Well, the Nuggets are doing it differently, and they're up 2-1 in the NBA championships, and by the way, just won by 15 on the road last night. Shot half the number of three-pointers attempted than Miami did, and won the game by 15. So they're doing the modern day game different than the modern day game is being done, and we're being told it's boring. All right. When we come back, sometimes you just get beat. Sometimes it's not effort. This is that song they're singing. Sometimes you just get beat. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Brought to you by the Albuquerque Journal.
The Albuquerque Journal and Venue Plus for local.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
We have these conversations so often. Was it a collapse or a comeback? And the answer usually is yeah. Sometimes you get beat. The other guys are on scholarship. The other guys are getting paid. The other guys have coaches and video teams, and the other guys are out there too. It's not always effort. And JJ, to your point on this, after the game last night, the Miami Heat were saying, I don't know why we didn't have energy. I don't know why our effort was down. It can't happen. It won't happen again. It's the finals. I don't know why the energy was lacking. I can't answer that. Maybe this is Jimmy Butler now. Maybe we're at home. We think we did something different. I don't know. It just can't happen. It won't happen. It starts with me. JJ, sometimes you can give an effort and get beat. And I think that happens more often than not.
Yeah, and I think that was game 2 for the Nuggets. It was mistakes defensively as opposed to not playing hard in the game. When you have an 8-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter, it's hard for me to think you didn't bring effort on tonight.
For the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Now, you can question the fourth quarter all you want. Did you feel last night that Miami didn't bring effort?
I think the Nuggets just matched the physicality more so inside.
I think that's
Miami.
a key word right there. But all the labels and all the crap we've thrown around today, I think the physicality is a great call on that. And I give a lot of credit, Can I give the credit to Aaron Gordon on that? Yeah. I think he has been terrific. 10 rebounds, 11 points. He played 34 minutes. He did not turn the ball over, and he had 5 assists. Like we're going to look at the 30-point triple doubles of your 2 stars, and you should. But you said X factor is Aaron Gordon, and I think you're dead on right. And what you got out of Christian Braun was terrific. Or Brown was terrific. Coming off the bench, and I don't want to underplay the energy that he brought, and I don't know how predictable finding
29.
I don't know how predictable Christian Braun was to you, but finding a guy out of Kansas that is a rookie was
outscored
terrific.
2 of your starters combined.
It was combined 15. He had 15, and combined Porter and Caldwell Pope had 8. Yeah, look, he was terrific. Sometimes you get beat, man. Sometimes it's not just sit there and effort. Sometimes tip your hat to the other guy. And last night, this is why I told you yesterday. You remember yesterday when we made these? This isn't me patting myself on the back. This is me explaining why I picked the Nuggets last night. And it kind of all came to fruition, right? I said, I think it's a Michael Malone game. How do you think Michael Malone did yesterday, the head coach?
It looks like a genius because
his players
rookie stepped up too off the bench.
Yeah, but do you feel when we talk about what the coach's job is to put his players in position to win and get them mentally prepared and all that crap? It
was a little different for the Nuggets. It didn't feel like they had to make a major change. There was going to be a major change. The talking point for Michael Malone, he put it out there for a reason post game because he wanted his guys to see it, is be smarter defensively, and they were last night.
And the other one I said was because you think Jokic is going to be there every night because, well, Jokic is there every night. Jamal Murray, right? I thought Jamal Murray had to be great. I thought he was great last night. He was great overused. All right. He was really, really good. I mean, you define, what was Jamal Murray last night?
Fantastic.
He was a star quality player, right? Let's just play that. You've got 2 star quality players on this team. It's Jokic and Murray. Jokic has been a star quality player every night. Murray was in game 1. He wasn't horrible in game 2, but he wasn't what you need to win a championship. Go back and look over the championships. Look what the Warriors did last year. Look what the Bucks did the year before. Look what the Lakers did the year before. Star quality players in the NBA Finals play. And then you get a Christian Brown performance. You get an Aaron Gordon performance. You get somebody else contributing. But consistently your stars are stars in the finals. Go look through all of them. You're going to tell me there's a down game here and you're going to be right. But consistently for teams to win championships, your star players are playing like star players. And that's why I called out Jamal Murray, and I thought he was terrific last night. Text line says, the only thing that's predictable is that the Nuggets are likely to win, but to say it's boring or predictable is erroneous. If the Joker's game was so predictable, then Miami would be able to hinder it in some way. Joker is definitely a different type of center because he shoots better than any center, maybe that should be center, maybe that has ever been in the NBA. Yeah, he meant to say center. The way the Joker plays, in my opinion, it continues, is the way that basketball should be played. You pass the ball around and you get the easiest buckets. I totally agree.
Predictable.
I totally agree. I mean, to me, there's nothing predictable about it. Now, if you say I predicted the Nuggets would win, all right, you had a 50% chance. One of these two teams is going to win the championship. So if you predicted that, that's cool. I don't know how many of you predicted the Heat were going to be in the finals when we started this journey 2 months ago. Wasn't the conversation it's down to 3 teams in the East? It's really a 3-team race. It's Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Boston.
Yes.
That the West was wide open.
That team beat 2 of them.
That the West was wide open, but it was one of those 3 teams. In fact, the West had the 1 seed advance, and it was the 8 seed who went through 2 of those 3 teams. Shows that nobody knows a damn thing when it all starts, right? I mean, like, and it wasn't just you and me sitting here bloviating that. That was common sentiment, right?
And this is what I've enjoyed about this NBA postseason is you've had your talented teams, you've had your star storylines, but then we've seen team basketball play out, and we've seen something from the Miami Heat that this stuff happens. This is like an NFL run. This is Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah,
where it's a wild card. It's the 8 seed going in. Like, you don't see that in the NBA, and that's why I'm not counting out the Miami Heat, because they've responded. Expected more from them last night, but it was a credit to how good the Nuggets were offensively. But we're going to see more close games. Nuggets definitely have an advantage because as long as they're in their spots defensively, contesting the Heat, that's the one thing. Miami, they can bog down offensively. They shot just 37% as a team, even when they're in the positive in terms of 3-point shooting over the Nuggets, is because when the Nuggets are clicking, man, that offense is deadly.
Tony, you're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Tony.
Hey, good morning, guys. I don't know so much about the Miami Heat coming out without effort because they started off real good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did. You know, they lost it in because at the half they were only down by 5.
Yep.
That third quarter killed them. That third quarter just completely killed them. But yesterday, I didn't really see them like not have effort, like no energy. I thought they came out fine, but I wanted to ask you one thing. Joker, triple-doubles, double-doubles, and it's like I look at him a little bit like Tim Duncan. Not flashy, in my opinion, boring, but effective.
What's boring about him? Tell me what's boring about him. That he doesn't play above the rim, that he doesn't, like, what's boring about him?
You know, he goes out there, he does his job, you know, so to speak. You know, you don't see him, you know, dunking and screaming and slapping the backboard and you know, you just don't see none of that. And to me, it's refreshing, but it's also, because I see him and right away I go to Tim Duncan.
So his personality, it's his personality that's boring more than his game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but he's not flashy. In his game is not flashy either.
I don't know. Some of those passes are pretty damn flashy. If Magic Johnson makes some of those passes, and they're very, very Magic-esque, Some of his passes are, I would say some of those touch passes are flashy. Are his post moves flashy? No. Were Shaquille's? No. I mean, but
oh no, come on now, Shaq was something else.
Well,
man.
he was powerful.
Well, no. Aside from Shaq being powerful, Shaq was quick.
Yeah.
Shaq was so quick on his feet.
He was.
His Orlando days.
Different dude. Yeah, different game. I don't know. Are those passes flashy? Is it flashy? Probably not. All right.
No,
but it's not boring.
Neither was Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan's overlooked as one of the greatest of all time. Like when everybody talks about their top 10,
they forget him.
of all time.
Right. You're right.
Duncan's never mentioned,
and he should be.
He should be
because he's not flashy. That's a great point. All right, man. Appreciate you. It might be. He might be right.
He's Tim Duncan 2.0.
No, that's fair.
And if he is somehow able to get a couple championships, he's gonna lap Tim Duncan. Like, that is how good Jokic is. That is the numbers that he is putting up.
Fair or not fair that he would lap Tim Duncan if he has the same amount of championships but considered way better?
Because I am thinking back in, it was the whole Spurs are boring era of basketball.
I know.
And you just look at their game, and it's just good, man.
It's just good.
Just good.
It's just good. Hey, coming up at 8:45 this morning, an hour from right now, you're going to meet Isaac Mushila. He is one of the new Lobo basketball players. He's the high-scoring transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, all-conference player there. You're going to get to meet him. He's going to be with us. He's a fascinating story. Looking forward to catching up with him and meeting him and introducing him to all of us. That's going to be at 8:45 this morning, so make sure you're with us. And if not, it'll be posted on wherever you get your podcast. You'll be able to listen to it on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. School's out. Road trips, lots of them, taking the kids, not only long trips, short trips. Your vehicle ready? Your car ready for summer? Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I do. You're going to spend a lot of time in the car. It makes the time way more enjoyable and palatable. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you at your convenience. That means wherever, whenever it works for you. What do you mean, Jeff? So they come? Yes, you're working. Like when I'm in the office, I'm busy. They're out in the parking lot. They're busy. I get a text. I go outside, and there's people staring at it going, wow, I want to get that. You can get that. They've cleaned inside, outside, under the hood. It is not just car washed. It is detailed. When they're done, the car feels brand new. You're ready for the road, ready for the kids, ready for the summer. If you need extra protection, ask them about ceramic coating, paint protection film, or window tinting for that hot New Mexico sun. And our military always gets a 10% discount at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Schedule today. Call them at 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or you can go online at otsdetailing.com.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like
no finesse at all. Just back to the bucket, butt to your chest, backing you down to dunk it over you because he was bigger, couldn't shoot free throws either, but had a decent passing ability. He was pretty amazing. He was pretty amazing. All right, Nuggets win 109-94.
Shaq, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon,
you know,
Shaq could even Lakers Shaq could move up and down the floor. Now he wasn't as nimble as young Shaq in Orlando, but Tony wasn't off. Like Shaq had the footwork inside. Yeah, he was powerful, but I think he's deceptively quick.
No, I don't think there was that he wasn't quick at all. Like I think he was quick, is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. I think it's a different, was the word he used was finesse, though, right? Wasn't it when Tony said,
not a finesse is like Joker when he's high
what
post.
Was the word Tony used? Was it like he was trying to say is exciting? He's saying Joker's boring in the post. I don't know. Is he boring? Was Kevin McHale, like you guys aren't old enough on Kevin McHale, but was he boring? The up and under moves? I don't know that Kevin McHale was
wild to me. That dude is averaging a triple-double. He's putting up historic numbers, and that's where people want to go with it.
Yeah, he's boring. I think here's what's happening here. I firmly believe this with Joker, and I'm going to go back to something I said early in the playoffs. And maybe not even early, but it was probably conference championship. That the people who are screaming about this are just now realizing Nikola Jokic is a thing. Right? These are the same people, I promise you, that when he won his 2 MVPs were claiming that he didn't deserve it, and then Joel Embiid got robbed. Right? Because they couldn't tell you what a Nikola Jokic was, where Denver was on a map, and probably couldn't have pointed him out in a lineup of 2. But these are people who tell you that they know the NBA and they see Joel Embiid and Embiid should have been MVP. If nothing else, you know what Nikola Jokic is doing in this series, in this playoffs? Validating his 2 damn MVPs. To all those people who yelled and screamed that he shouldn't have got it, that he robbed Joel Embiid because they didn't know the Mountain Time Zone existed, let alone that there was something in Denver, Colorado. And so the world's literally they're just discovering this gigantic dude has risen out of the Rocky Mountains to these people because they'd never seen it before. Now they're forced to freaking watch him.
The worst MVP narrative this season ever is, he doesn't have a championship, so he can't be a regular season MVP. The guy that's been to the Western Conference Finals, the guy that led his team in the playoffs the last 2 years without Jamal Murray, the guy that was still winning games and putting up numbers, and yet somehow it's a disservice to the dude, Joel Embiid, who hasn't even gotten to a conference finals.
I was just going to say, so you gave it to who? How many has he won? How many conference finals has he been to? So you can give it to him, but you voted for that dude who his credentials are somehow better? No, you know why his credentials are better? He looks the part more. He plays in the Eastern Time Zone. He plays in Philly.
And this is weird because Jokic did win 2-time MVP. Like, he won 2 of them. People are noticing.
But people
know
who he was.
Like, they gave the dude the award, and now all of a sudden this year it was like, should we have done that?
Yeah.
Did we make a mistake? Like, what?
I think permanently now that narrative is gone, right? So if Jokic goes out and has a year like this, like he had this year, and which, by the way, he's done 3 in a row now. So why would you not expect it? Is that narrative at least gone next year? Or is it, well, I don't know, man. Embiid's been better. Embiid, this is the year. LeBron should get it again. Well, look what Kevin Durant did down in Phoenix this year.
Jokic is at that level.
100% he is.
It was LeBron, but Kevin Durant, Giannis, like these dudes, if you want the way they play, they could be the NBA MVP every season.
All right, when we come back, Richard Pitino and some of the new Lobos met the media yesterday. We're going to speak with Isaac Mushila, one of the new Lobos. That's coming up at 8:45. But when we come back, we'll talk about, you were out there yesterday, what they look like, and you'll hear what Coach Pitino has to say about the New Mexico State games that you've been talking about so much. What does he think about that? Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all. Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, this country loves American football, and NFL is a year-round sport. This state loves its hoops, and it's a year-round sport. We've been talking a lot about New Mexico State basketball. Yesterday, UNM opened up practice to the media and did a little press conference, and you were telling me that Richard Pitino walked in and the media room was full, and it was like, wow, what the hell's going on, right?
Yes. He walked in, he's like, yo, it's June. Why are you guys here? Like everyone.
And I'm going to guess at Minnesota, it probably wasn't that way, right? I'm going to guess at FAU, it probably wasn't that way.
He probably wasn't sitting down talking for 25 minutes on June 7th about college basketball.
That's right. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. DC is here to take your calls at 505-246-0610 and to run our show. He's our new skipper. He is our new producer. He is the new part of our program, and glad he's with us. Glad you're with us every day. And don't say this enough, but I want to say thank you for taking the time that you spend with us every single day, whatever part of your day you spend with us. Appreciate you taking the time. I know there's a lot that you could be doing, and thank you for the contributions and for spending time with us. So Lobel basketball out there yesterday. First of all, the word is flashy. They said that's what they said. Flashy it wasn't whatever I said in regards to Shaquille. We're just talking about Nuggets basketball, and that was reminded. What'd you see? I mean, you saw guys shooting around, right? So I'm not asking you to give me a full lowdown on the basics of everybody's game, but we're going to hear from Richard Pitino here in a minute about this recruiting class. I know he likes it.
He's very excited. And there's what we've seen with a couple of these guys, they look different. Like last year, Quentin Webb, when you saw him, I know you redshirted, but people noticed, like, has that dude been in a college weight room for 3 years?
Right.
Like there's a different look to these dudes.
All right. A couple things that I want to get into. So the big topic amongst you all and with us in regards to Lobel basketball has been the series with the Aggies. And is it going to happen? What's going to go on? We do know that the ladies are only playing one time. That'll be in Albuquerque. And you get a trip to Gonzaga. You're going up to Spokane to do a game. Instead of going down to cruises. It feels like it might be back on track for the Lobo Aggie series to play. And we've had a lot of conversation here about what it means to you. And I think what last week and a half, however long we've been doing this conversation, what it's proven to me, or it's reinforced, I guess, because I already thought I knew it, but what it reinforced is that this rivalry means a lot to you as fans. That, yes, it is different. Yes, it is one of the few and maybe the only now that UTEP and New Mexico State are in the same conference. It might be the only rivalry in America that is non-conference that is played home and away each year. And it is different, and it's different, I think you all believe as fans in a good way, that for the better part of a century, You've looked forward to the game in Albuquerque. You've looked forward to the game in Las Cruces. It's what you circle on the schedule. The coaches come and go, and there have been many coaches who have said, I don't want to play them twice. But this rivalry is bigger than any coach, any athletic director, and hopefully any incident that may have happened between students and fans of teams. And I think that's what – I mean, is that a fair way to summarize the conversation we've had?
Absolutely. It's fair.
All right. So we've heard from a lot of people. We hadn't heard from the coaches on this. And Richard Pitino was asked about it yesterday, and here's what he had to say.
It has nothing to do with me. So, I mean, listen, the first year that we did it, we won at their place, and they got us at our place, and thought everything went fine. So I know Eddie and, Mario are trying to put together a plan. I mean, listen, last year, the circumstances that happened at the football game in Las Cruces and the circumstances that happened here, that is a big deal. A life was lost. So I think it's very important that we all work together to be careful and to make sure that, we bring college basketball to our community, their community. So, hopefully it gets resolved soon. I'm not involved in any of those conversations. I don't think Coach Hooten is either. It's I think it'll get done. It's just a matter of when.
Good answer, right? First of all, it's not, what did he say at the top? It's not about me or something. Because I know there's been a lot of people who are saying, he doesn't want to play him twice because they're pulling down their net. Well, New Mexico State doesn't want to play him twice because they're going to get beat. And I haven't heard either coach say that. Have you?
Nope.
I've heard everybody speak for coaches, but I haven't heard either coach say that. I feel like it's back on track to happen the way, dare I say, it should?
It should. It's the way it's been. And it matters.
And I often say, just because it's been some way, it doesn't mean that's how it should be. But in this case, it has been that way, and it's been good, and it should be, if that makes any sense at all. This is a rivalry that is unique, that is different, and in this state matters. And by the way, both of these schools historically talk about how tough it is to schedule, how tough it is to get someone to come to your place, how tough it is to schedule quality opponents. Now, if you're sitting there telling me they're not a quality opponent, you might be right this year. Let's see what Coach Hooten puts together down there. It's a total rebuild, but you got a transfer portal. You got an opportunity to rebuild a lot quicker than maybe you did 5-6 years ago, okay? There was certainly a time in the last decade where you were pulling down their net ranking or RPI or whatever metric you want to go by. All right, so that's that. Looking forward to talking to Isaac Mushila, but the recruiting class, you got two bigs in. You got JJ. There are a lot of impact players, right? You got guards, you got shooters, you got bigs. This is a recruiting class that I've seen has been rated number one. That includes San Diego State in the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, they checked all the boxes.
What was the biggest thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Nelly Jr. Joseph, Mustafa Amzil, stretch 4, but he's long. He's going to be a presence defensively. But the focus, though, in this comment you're going to hear is on the freshmen.
Which you got two freshmen that I know he loves. And you just talked about Webb, who, redshirt last year, and is the one guy that is almost forgotten that feels like he's going to play his way in. But here's Richard Pitino now talking a little bit about the new guys, about this recruiting class, about what's coming in.
I don't know. It's so hard to say right away. The thing about freshmen, the hardest thing for them is juggling it all. Class, just the weight room, nutrition, managing their time, academics, all the things that we're throwing at them. Are they able to deal with all that and perform at a high level? You just don't know with young players. And everybody deals with that. What I can say is it's one of the best recruiting classes in the history of Lobo basketball. I really believe that. I believe that the guys that we added to go along with, True is a top 100 kid. I don't know how many 4-star kids they've had here in a long time. I feel like JT is really underrated. I mean, I was very, very impressed with him last year, but there's so much that goes into it. Playbook, defensive schemes, all those things. Are they able to grasp them? And if they are, they're going to have a chance. But it's just too hard to tell right now. Very excited about both of them, though.
The one that raised your eyebrows, I know the one that really got a lot of people going, this is what he said, the best recruiting class ever. And it goes back, and he might be right. He might be right.
Now, if you factor in the transfers, it's a different conversation. If you're just looking
part
at
of the recruiting class,
yeah,
right?
but he was kind of focusing on just the hype around True Washington and Jaden Toppin.
Okay.
Freshman wise, it's going to be hard in recent history to beat 2010. That recruiting class when you brought in
Kendall Williams,
Alex Kirk, Kendall Williams, Tony Snell, and then what Cameron Bairstow developed into. But they
is Hugh Greenwood in the same class?
No.
Okay, he was already here.
They are, I think he came a year after. I think he was freshman a year after this, Hugh Greenwood. But they are very excited about True Washington and Jaden Toppin.
And then add Jamal Baker, add Isaac Mushila, who you're going to meet coming up at 8:45. Add Mustafa Mzil and Nelly Jr. Joseph, and you got something. All right, so with the comings are the goings, and I know he was asked about the players that left, and popular players, and certainly Javonte Johnson is a three-year starter, and JJ, I thought that was something that you saw coming. He probably got recruited over, and Josiah Alec leaving. He was asked about those guys as well.
Well, some of them were not told to leave, but so I think everybody, media, fans, coaches, have got to understand the new normal and stop overreacting. And I'm not saying our fans or media are doing that, but you see it on Twitter where, oh my goodness, this guy welcome to the new world. It's like it would be like coaches with no buyouts. They're free to go, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So this whole what is wrong with your program, why is he leaving? Maybe sometimes it's true. I mean, that could be it. But, Javonte and Josiah wanted an increased offensive role. I think they saw Mash and House are very good scorers. And they felt like maybe they'll get a better opportunity somewhere else. It's their right. I mean, there's nothing holding these guys back, and it's happening everywhere. And again, if coaches didn't have buyouts, like assistants do it. They don't have buyouts, and that's essentially what this has become. So I'm not surprised at all. And it's going to continue to be like this all the time. The good part about it is, although you have guys leave, you can replace them with some really good players because it's happening everywhere else.
So what's he saying? If he didn't have a buyout, he'd be out of here? Is that what he's telling me? Is that what I'm supposed to take
in the breaking news of the day?
Is that what I'm supposed? Look, what he's saying is what you and I have been saying the whole time. And he flat out said, you just got to stop overreacting. Stop losing your mind that a guy leaves. You love the transfer portal when a guy comes in. You love that you're able to get Mustafa Mzil from Dayton and that you're able to get Nelly Jr. Joseph from Iona. You loved when you got a guy like Danny Granger coming over from Bradley, didn't you? Or Drew Gordon from UCLA. Or J.R. Giddens came from Kansas. You love when they leave the other place and come here. Well, there's a yin to the yang, right? He's 100% right when he says it's the new world, man. That's just how it is. Guys leave. There's average of 4.5 to 5 guys per team in the transfer portal this year, right? Isn't that the number?
Yeah.
Like 1,000, almost 2,000 players in the he's right. It's just the new way. And that's how it is now. All right, you can react to what you heard from Richard. I mean, I don't know, it was a headline if I didn't have a kidding, kind of. What he said, we haven't really heard him talk about his new contract, his contract extension. We're going to hear that when we come back. And then coming up at 8:45, you will meet Isaac Mushila, who's got a great story. A great story. And looking forward to talking to him. That's all, coming up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by Auto.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get one run back. That one's hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Man who is from the Congo, who has played in Wyoming and in Texas and now in New Mexico and has quite the story.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, really looking forward to meeting him. He comes over as a graduate student. All right, so we're on the subject of global basketball. You can get in, and let me give you numbers, 505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline. It is also the Sports Animal text line, and you've been active on that this morning. Get in on the Nuggets as well. Nuggets 109-94 over the Heat last night, take a 2-1 lead in the finals. What was it, about 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago that there was a contract extension announced for Richard Pitino? Since we're on the subject of buyouts, he brought it up.
Yeah.
Speaking
of buyouts,
he brought it up. Extended and a raise and all those things, and I don't think it's arguable. Do you that Lobo basketball is on the right trajectory? I know they didn't get to the NCAA tournament last year. I understand that they finished sixth in their league, and that can't be the goal. And I know that there's people who are saying you rewarded a guy for finishing sixth in his league, and yeah, in fact, that's the truth, right? If you want to bottom line it, digging deeper, do you agree? Do you feel that Lobo basketball is on the right trajectory with this head coach?
Yes, 100%.
All right,
110%.
Here's Richard Pitino on his contract extension.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, I'm very appreciative of it. President Stokes and Eddie, their leadership is huge. I mean, you cannot try to do what we're trying to do and raise this thing to the level of expectations of our fans without a lot of people invested on a daily basis, whether it's, Dave Williams just kind of working hand in hand with him and Eddie's support and President Stokes and the board. And all those things are so very important. You can't do this alone, so this has been 2 really fun years. We picked up and kind of, family is very, very important to me. And I kind of just took a chance on moving my family who loved Minnesota to Albuquerque. And this just feels like home. We got camp going on and a bunch of campers are friends of my kids and go to school with them. And that stuff's very, very important to me. So stability is certainly something that I seek. I want to win at a high level, but I'm not a guy who loves to jump around and take a million different jobs. That has never been my intention. I feel like we've got the train back on the tracks. And a lot of that had to do with the pandemic. But I just feel like we're moving in a great direction. And, I'm very, very grateful of the leadership and the support that we've gotten since I've been here.
I appreciate the stability thing. We'll see, when the right job comes up. And I do believe what I've heard and pretty much relatively confirmed that he did turn down the South Florida job that paid handsomely, about $1.8 million. And is that the right job? Is that not and it's not like he had the option of staying at the University of Minnesota, right? I mean, he was fired, and if he was going to stay in college coaching, he either was going to take a lower level job in Minneapolis or go somewhere. So yeah, did he take a chance coming all the way? It's not like he moved to freaking Mars, right?
Well,
I know some people think this is Mars.
There's only rocks out there.
There ain't nobody live out there but rocks. I know. I know when people come out here, it's like, well, he took a big chance. I mean, it's still the United States of America, right?
The water.
I mean, we get right. It's you took a chance, and
plenty of chicken places.
A lot worse places than here, man. I'll tell you that. But I appreciate what he says. I think he is appreciative. I think, do I think he's going to be here for another 5 years? I don't. I think his success is going to take him to a job that pays him to a level that exceeds what they're able to do here. But I do think it matters that what he does here and how he does it, and I all of that. You okay with the contract? Because I know we went over this. I think you and I are both we understand why these things are done and how you have to reward somebody. And to those of you who say, what did they do last year? They lost in the first round of the NIT to a WAC team and finished sixth in their conference. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is correct. They also won their first 14 games for the last undefeated team in America, were in the top 50 in the net rankings all year, were in the top 25 a number of weeks for the first time in over a decade, and made progress. Did they finish well? They did not. But that means, to me, the groundwork is laying.
Well, to me, it was also forward thinking from the university. I understand the faction of fans that support Lobo basketball, but can even be like, why are we doing this again? Like, what's the point of a contract extension after 2 years? And especially when it's not necessarily like you're not.
And you've been burned on.
You've been burned, but you're not that protected with a buyout on the back end.
That's right.
Like, that's actually a lesson.
Yeah.
And so it's not like UNM's getting more money if Richard Pitino is successful in the negotiation. But the way I look at it too is there's the extra investment in the program, which, money for assistant coaches, travel budget, the things that are very important, even in the NIL era, to compete for these student athletes, is to have those things available. But also, it's the belief that Eddie Nunez has that Richard Pitino is going to win games. And Richard Pitino is going to get another job. And so if we raise the salary now for Richard Pitino, then that puts us in the running for the next coach to look at this and go, oh, man, they're winning there, and I can get that type of money. Let's go.
When a job, and I know Providence just filled, and Ed Cooley left that job, and he was making, north of $3 million, and went to Georgetown. But when that kind of job comes up, I think Richard, and this is nothing against him, and this, he's probably going to take that job, right? And I'll ask you, if you were going to get to go back to where your family is or where you're from and double your salary, or in this case, with more than double, almost triple your salary, would you do it? I know you would. So I think his pedigree, and when he turns this around, and I think it's in the process of turning around, like if they would have continued on the path that they were on, JJ, at 14-0, let's say they finished third in this league instead of sixth, and went to the NCAA tournament, lost the first round, I think he'd be gone. Remember the conversation we had off the air in December when I came in and I said, who's the next Lobo coach? Because they were 14-0 and he was gone.
Yeah, then you're probably getting that call from the
Providence or who,
and not just South Florida.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with South Florida, and there's nothing wrong with $1.8 million was the reported salary on it, right? And kudos to him for not just jumping at that number, and when he leaves, the number will be bigger. I do believe that he wants to finish what he's done here. But I don't know that you can argue, and I don't know that many of you are, that you're not in a better place now. Well, Jeff, I mean, he went to the NIT and lost the first round as opposed to not going anywhere. Okay. I mean, you got eyes. You know what's going on. All right, coming up at 8:45, Isaac Mushila is going to be with us. He is the transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, all-conference player there. Looking forward to that conversation. When we come back, recap, I want to get into the Nuggets a little bit and why I think they're going to win the next game and go back to Denver with a chance to close this thing out. I know you got an alarm at your business and at your home, right? You installed security cameras. I'm not telling you something you don't know. It's just not enough. That's why you should call IPS, International Protective Service. Look, don't wait to be a victim of vandalism and theft. So what? So then you can just watch it on camera and you can see what happened? IPS offers standing guards, 24-hour patrols as well. They can protect your home and protect your business. They respond quickly to alarm. They prevent loss and damage to your property. I've trusted IPS for years. They're by my home every single day. And when I'm out of town, they're by a number of times. They'll pick up newspapers and packages. They'll roll garbage cans to the curb and back, even get your mail for you. It's affordable private security, and private security can save you money. Call them at 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or you can go online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque a safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't be the first. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
All right, we're not talking about Messi yet. Did you see the reported number he turned down to go to Saudi Arabia? Was it 3 years at 1.4 billion? Is that what somebody reported?
Billion.
Yeah, 1.25 is what I read, but over $1 billion is insane.
For 3 years.
Insane. They are definitely buying sports.
That's how much he loves the nightlife in Miami. I mean, that's and I'm sure they're giving him a nice little chunk of gelt over there, but holy smokes. All right.
That's also when Mrs. Messi stepped in. Apparently she was not about going.
She wasn't going to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe he's the guy who knows, I got enough, man. I don't need to do that. Like, I always tell you, I don't know.
When you hear his comments,
yeah,
he didn't want to go to Miami. He wanted to go back to Barcelona.
Okay.
But the team is still dealing with a lot of financial issues, fair play rules, and would have to sell off some players, so maybe it wouldn't have been as good as he would have liked to have gone back to. So he said, I'm going to go try this American football thing.
Right. We're going to get into that in the 9 o'clock hour. I want to get into what he had to say. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. So Nuggets win last night, 109-94. And I said before we went to the break, here's why they're going to win the next game and go back with a chance to win it all. And I know you guys both raised your eyebrows. Look, this is no disrespect to Miami, okay? I think Game 2 was an anomaly. I'm looking at how good Denver's been, and I know everybody was watching the Lakers, and everybody was watching the Warriors and the Sacramento Kings and the Celtics and the Sixers, and I got it. Everybody early in the playoffs was watching everybody except for the Nuggets. I can't remember one play out of the Nuggets Timberwolves first round series. JJ, that was on NBA TV, right? They couldn't even get on the two networks that televised basketball. They won that series 4-1. They beat the Phoenix Suns 4-2. They swept the Lakers. They are 14-4 in the postseason. They have been a damn machine. Now, Jeff, I mean, the Laker games were all close. Yeah, and they won. They won every damn one of them. Yeah, they were close, which means to me they learned how to win close games. To me, they're a machine right now. I'll stick by, I think they are better overall, although there's times where I really scratch my head and watching Michael Porter Jr. and KCP play, and I'm like, are they really better overall? But I think that their two guys have been consistent. I think Michael Malone's reeled this thing in. And I think last night is who they are. And they're better, and they've been the best team. And JJ, 14-4 tells me a lot. They have been insanely consistent. And I just think Game 2 is an anomaly.
Yeah, the one thing with the Nuggets, even in Game 2, when people were questioning the offense, they made Joker score, he only had 4 assists. Well, the efficiency numbers were still fine. Like, they lost that game because of some defensive things. The one constant has been the offense for the Nuggets. They still scored 108 points in that game. They just gave up 111 in Game 2. And knowing what you're getting night in and night out from that offense is why they're 14-4.
By the way, the under was the bet last night, huh? Easy. And here's Michael Malone on why he said what he said after the loss and how he thinks it worked.
We know they're going to make shots, Coach, but the thing that we have to try to prevent is the breakdowns that lead to the wide-open shots. And that's where I feel our communication was not where it needed to be. Communication is concentration. I got to know what the hell to say to my teammate so we're all on the same page, defending as one unit. And the number of breakdowns that we had made it really hard for us to even have a chance to win that game. If Jamal would have made that shot and we won in overtime, we would have stole that game. We had no business winning Game 2.
Yeah, but they did. Yeah, but they didn't. But they win Game 3. So that's. I mean, do you disagree with me on this? I know you guys both liked the Heat yesterday, and that's why I didn't. I'm not letting one game, one instance, a small sample size completely change what I think.
I'm not off the Nuggets. I do respect the Miami Heat, and what they've done in this postseason is they've been the team that's been able to answer, that's been able to push back. But it was a reminder of just how good the Nuggets offense has been. That's the constant. That's the key. And when they're just in their spots defensively, as Michael Malone just said. Not messing up every pick and roll, staying in front, battling for the boards, being a good defensive team. When you have an elite offense, that's how you look like that in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what they look like. All right, we'll get more into them. We'll get into the messy stuff too, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. But when we return, you're going to meet one of the newest Lobo basketball players. Isaac Mushila is an all-conference player that transferred over as a graduate student from Texas A&M Corpus Christi and can score, can rebound, can ball. Had a heck of a run, but had a heck of a game in the NCAA tournament. You're going to meet him, a young man from the Congo who went through Wyoming and went through Texas and is now playing for your Lobos. He's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures.
In 15 in the NCAA tournament against number 1 overall seed Alabama. He is in town, and as a graduate student, I think you're going to enjoy this young man. Isaac Mushila joins us this morning on the opening drive. Hello, Isaac. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here today.
No, appreciate you spending some time with us. So an interesting road for you. And as you decided that you wanted to do something in your graduate year with 1 year left, how did the road lead to Albuquerque and you becoming a Lobo?
You know, like I said, in Corpus Christi, I kind of win everything. So I wanted to win something. I wanted to win somewhere else. So being here, I think just me coming here, I will come in and help the team to win. And I have been enjoying that time since then.
Your road is obviously very interesting. Growing up in the Congo, and you moved to the United States in 2016, did your last 2 years in Ohio. You've been to Wyoming and through Texas and through New Mexico. Can you talk a little bit about how your journey evolved? Like how do you decide, all right, I'm from the Congo to Ohio to Wyoming, all these different spots. How does that work for you, and how have some of these spots been?
It's been a tough road. From the Congo to the USA, that was pretty much my parent decision. But when I got here, it was most likely my decision. Obviously, I still talk to my mom about it. But it's been a pretty tough road. From Congo to here, I had a lot of challenge. I had to learn the language in the process. I had to get used to the American culture, how to play basketball, how to basically get adapt to a lot of different things, which was pretty much challenging. But I came through, and with God's help. But that's when my journey started. Going from where it was Virginia to Spire to Gillette, Wyoming, was pretty much challenging because you're going from high school to the junior college. You pretty much don't know what you're going to be into. You just go out there and then hope for the best. But I always trust my work, just go in and work and try just to do my best.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess the difference between the Congo and Gillette, Wyoming, it can't be much more drastic, huh?
Say that again.
The difference between the Congo and Gillette, Wyoming. I've never been to the Congo, but I'm going to guess it can't be more different.
I mean, I wouldn't say like it is a big difference, but like I would say like the weather was just really, like was a way different because in Congo it's hot, but like in July it's really cold. That was my first. That was my first time seeing snow October 1st. I was like, oh wow, like this is crazy. But like besides that, it was just being around good people that helped me. You know, like coaches, community. It was pretty nice, pretty good, and that helped me through the process, and I got used to it.
He's Isaac Mushila, Lobo guard, with us this morning on the opening drive.
Now, Isaac, when did you start playing the game of basketball, and what got you interested in the sport?
Just one day I was just home, and my cousin just took me to like a basketball court. I remember I was 13 years old. He just basically just like taking me like come with me to practice. So I went to practice, like seeing them practice. So I started like shooting a little bit, and I started falling in love with the basketball, like with the game. Since then, I started coming going every day, and then one of the days, just the coach was like, "Oh yeah, you can play for me." I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, I will come." Like going in every day, working with the coach and all that, like helped me to like fall in love even more, and it just in the blood. I started playing every day. I got a chance to come here.
Now, when you started to fall in love with the game, when you started playing, is there any people that you started to look up to? Because the biggest name, at least the NBA fans are going to know, is Dikembe Mutombo coming out of the Congo. But is there any players that you started to look up to and really wanted to pattern your game after?
Mutombo Dikembe Congo. He's a legend. I've been looking more to Kobe Bryant because watching them play, and since I got here, I've been watching like the way he work out. He's basically like his work ethic. He kind of like pushing me every day throughout the day and just like be ready to go, But like Kobe Bryant, he's the guy that I've been looking up to, and I still do even right now. But like already passed, but
No, that makes sense. And I think that shows the worldwide, the global effect that Kobe had. He's Isaac Mushila with us for a few more minutes on the opening drive. I know you get asked this a lot, but I'm going to ask you anyway, because I wonder, what is life in the Congo? Like, as you grow up, I think people in America probably have an idea. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But when you talk to your buddies, your teammates, and you describe growing up in the Congo, how do you explain it to them?
I just feel like it's pretty much the same as here, but it's just a little bit different. Like here, it's a little bit better, like sport-wise. Like here, you got everything to work out with. Like we got basketball, we got weight room, we got nice gyms. We don't have that back home. So like in Congo, we more creative. We just make up our own stuff and we work out with it. We basically use what we have. That's pretty much the difference. So like I know the wild just like here just a little bit better than Congo.
Yeah.
But like we just make up our own stuff to like work out with pretty much. The basketball is just we play outside. That's crazy. We play on the sun,
Yeah, but now you got beautiful practice facilities and arenas. People say you take a little bit of everywhere with you as you grow, and I found that to be true. From your stops in Wyoming and in Ohio and Texas and now into New Mexico, do you feel that you've grown each step? And what is it that you bring? As Lobo fan listens to Isaac Mushila, what should they expect from Isaac as you've taken little pieces from all those places into your game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all those places, the things that I've been to kind of helped me to, like, not only grow my game, but like mentally, like prepare myself. Like basically, like like in July, Wyoming was more challenging because I was just a freshman in junior college. Like it was just a little bit challenging because like I was playing, but like I wasn't just feeling it like that. But through like with the help of like Coach Neri and all that, they kind of helped me. Then the transition to go to Wyoming to Texas, that was even better because I was already used to those. Like, oh yeah, I'm already in the water, so I'm in the play. Then I went to Western, like to Texas and Corpus Christi. I was already in the water, so like I would just want to enjoy myself, have fun on the court, work out every day, and coming here, I just want to, just bring my experience and my toughness.
Well, that makes
sense. I just want to come in and just do what I can to do what I can to help the team to win. That's all I'm about. Winning.
A few more minutes with Isaac Mushila, Lobo guard, who transferred over from Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Now, Isaac, when you were with Corpus Christi last year in the NCAA tournament, and you guys had that fantastic performance in the first four, you went on to play Alabama. They did a quick story on you, and pointed out that you hadn't seen your mom in 8 years, but she still watches every single one of your games. What kind of relationship do you have with your mom, and what does it mean to you that she doesn't matter the time, that she's always watching you play basketball?
I mean, she's a proud mom. She always tells me that she's proud of me. She's proud of the work that I put in every day, and she's gonna support me whatever I'm at. So like, I just have to handle the schedule. So mom, we're gonna play today like 1 a.m. your time. She's gonna be out to watch me. But I mean, she doesn't watch all the time. Sometimes the games are like 3 a.m. in the morning. She has like work the next day, so she's gonna rewatch the game. But like, she's my number one supporter. Like, she always supports me whatever I do, whatever decision I make. I always go up to her and ask her for advice and all that. She's like my day one.
Do you have siblings? Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I do.
They watch as well? Big fans of yours?
Oh yeah, like all my family all behind me. Like they always watch me. Like sometimes after the game, because like there is a time difference. Like 8 hours. Right now it's probably like 7 or something. But like every time after the game, late at night, probably around like 11, I always get on the phone with them. We're gonna talk about the game. They're gonna like tell me congrats. We could win if we did not win. But like they always talk to me and all that. Like
Hey Isaac, let me ask you this. So you come over to a club last year at Corpus Christi. You were the guy. You were first team all conference. You broke their school record for double doubles. You had it's a great year. You were the guy. Now you join a team that's got Jamal Mashburn and Jalen House, and there's a lot of guys on this team. What do you see your role being? How do you fit into this club? Because it's going to be a little different this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, coming in here, I already knew like there always like good guys, like good players. Like I said, I just want to come in and like I just want to come in and just play my role. Like whatever the coach want me to do, I will do it. I'm just a basketball player. I don't care about like, I'll come in and play the 3, I'll come in and play the 4, I'll come in and play the 5. Now for me, all that don't really matter. I just want to come in and help the team to win. At the end of the day, winning a basketball game, that's what matters to me.
All right, lastly, a big thing about New Mexico is food, right? Everybody talks about the chili and the flavor, and I don't know what honestly, I should know this. I don't know what the big what Congo food is. I know what's in Ohio. I know Gillette, Wyoming is probably a lot of beef, and Texas is Tex-Mex and barbecue. So how are you on the food? What's your favorite meal? Have you gotten into New Mexico food yet?
I mean, since I got here, I just got here like 2 days ago, so I really haven't gotten the food yet. But like, I'm planning on that. I'm trying to go on all those different restaurants to try all the food.
Yeah, it's like what's the Congo staple? What's the go-to in Isaac's house back home?
I mean, back home, most people eat fufu. I don't know if you know or you know or heard of it.
What is that?
It's kind of like a bread, but a little different. They made it with cornbread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean corn flour and all that. So like, I don't know how to make it. My mom does.
I know how to eat it.
I don't know how to make it, but my mom does. But like, yeah, most people back home eat that. Like they can eat that. They eat that most of the time for lunch or dinner.
Right on. Right on. Hey, enjoyed the conversation and look forward to meeting you in person. But enjoy your time. Welcome to town, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us this morning.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Today.
Be well, Isaac Mushila. And I think you're going to enjoy it. I think the biggest thing I got out of that, well, we'll tell you when we come back, because it's not easy going from the man to being one of the dudes. And it was pretty impressive. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
All personal injury law firms are not the same.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
All right, thoroughly enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. Isaac Mushila was with us, the Lobo guard, transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, a young man whose journey has gone from the Congo to Ohio to Gillette, Wyoming to Texas, now to Albuquerque. A young man who's got a 4.6 GPA, was the Southland Conference Student Athlete of the Year, graduated with a degree in psychology, and is here for a graduate student. And JJ, I think there were so many impressive things in there. I thought it was a confident young man. I thought it was a young man whose eyes are wide open on a journey that I always try to explain these things to people and go the other way. You know, when we hear guys who come from the Congo or somewhere otherworldly, is that fair to say? I mean, the other side of the world, and end up in places like Gillette, Wyoming, or Corpus Christi or Albuquerque, you know, oh my goodness. Well, think of you going the other way. Think of you going and ended up playing in Congo, right? And the guys who've done that have told us stories. Learning the language. But basketball-wise, what matters a lot to people who are listening to this show, the guy who goes from being the guy, first team all-conference, led his team into the NCAA tournament. They won a game of the tournament. He has a double-double against number 1 Alabama. Now he's come into a place where there's two dudes who are established. And I thought it was important to ask him that, knowing you got a different role, and I liked his answer.
And just listening to him and his journey, him describe it, he's a humble dude. And he puts his head down. He works hard. He's grateful for what he has. And talking about back home, you have to use anything that's around. Just put workouts together. You're playing outside. It's the classic, hey, we're going down to the park, play some basketball. And that's actually how he fell in love with the game, was by doing just that. And, you know, this is a big step up for him because the Lobos, you know, it's a bigger stage, program-wise, facility-wise. It's a good spot to be in. And these are the type of guys that, yeah, he comes in with a great resume, but you know he's not going to be an issue. Like, he is going to say, all right, you want me to rebound today and play the 4? Fantastic. Because he is. He's a 6'5" wing guy that's probably best suited to be a power forward.
Well, that average 9.9 is 10, so he averaged 10 rebounds a game. I know I can't say he averaged a double-double because if he'd got that last rebound with 4 seconds to go in a game, maybe.
He would have stayed in just a few more seconds to grab one more rebound. But this is an unbelievable get to have that level of experience, a guy that's done it, that has a resume, and has that mindset to add to this roster.
So to me, this is the kind of player, and mark this on June 8th, because I think if we have a conversation about them contending for a championship in February, okay, I think this is the kind of player that is going to make the difference. Now, I'm not telling you he's going to be all conference. That's not what I'm saying. Right? You're going to have a Mashburn. You're going to have a House. You're going to have a Nelly Jr. Joseph. Right? Amzeal's going to be impressive. But, JJ, this is – and I'm going to make the comparison not because they're my alma mater, but because they are the flagship program of this league and went to the NCAA championship game. This is the kind of guy San Diego State gets. Right? Mm-hmm. A mature – veteran guy who might have been the guy somewhere else that comes to your program understanding his role is going to change. He's not going to be the guy every night. Let me go do the dirty work. And I think if we're having this conversation in February that the Lobos are contending for a championship, I think you're going to point at this guy as being a key piece.
No doubt about it. The what Musiala is bringing to the table, Nelly Jr., Joseph, it's what this team was missing last year. It's the defensive edge. It's a little bit more
all right
of that one-on-one defensive presence, which Morris Udeze and Josiah Alec, they were really good. But we don't look at those two guys as, well, Alec on the perimeter. So I'll give Alec and Musiala, that kind of role, but they were asking him to guard.
Quick a lot.
Yeah, they were asking him to guard players that probably can't stay in front of. I think Musiala is going to be able to do a little bit of that, but also provide you more of a defensive presence inside, even though he's 6'5".
Yeah.
But just look at the dude's game. Listen to him talk.
Well, you don't have to be huge to get rebounds. Ask Charles Barkley. So this is the guy. What was the one thing I told you, even when they were 14-0? What was the one thing I said they don't have? That 6'3" to 6'7" swing guy who's long, who can defend the perimeter, right? It feels like in Amzil and in Musiala they got that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It feels like he went out and realized, okay, this is where I need to get better, and recruited to that. And so when you play the San Diego States with all these long athletes, look, what Steve had at Nevada last year, they swept you, 2 close games, but what hurt you? Some of the perimeter stuff, right? When you look around, what is UNLV always? Long and athletic on the perimeter, right? That's where I think they got better, and why this could be something that's really special. Now, and this is, I'm going against everything that I've lived by Lobo basketball over the last quarter of a century. I don't like to get excited about guys in the summer. My thing's always been, when I see them come down the ramp in a pair of shorts in the fall, all right, then I'll buy in. These guys came down the ramp with a pair of shorts in June, so
it's a little different when you know what they've done.
Yeah, I think that's key. Yes. Right, it's always been high school guys. Yeah. When I see a guy that was Southland player or Southland first team, and doubled against Alabama in the NCAA tournament,
I can buy into that.
I know dude can play. And then I just talked to this young man, and he said, "Look, I'm willing to do whatever I can do." I'm convinced that guy's not here to be a star. Right? So many of you have asked, how do you fill out? You asked the question, how do you fill out the roster? Who's a role player? What is a role player anymore? Everybody wants to be a star, hence the transfer portal. I'm not getting my minutes. I want the offense to go through me. Okay. I have no doubt, do you, that Richard Pitino, when he's recruiting, whether it's Amzil, whether it's Baker, whether it's Musiala, whether it's the freshman, has been very clear. Look, I got 2 guys who this offense runs through right now, and then now Nelly Jr. Joseph. In this year, and this year happens to be this young man's last, it's the only one of eligibility, you can play a role. You're not going to be a star. And now, look, where's the minutes coming from? The competition between Webb and Toppin and Washington and Braden Applehans and Baker and all these guys, right? Just for minutes, just to get on the floor is going to be intense. I got to believe that he was very, very clear with them. If you're looking to go be a star, this might not be your spot. Don't you think?
And Pitino has talked about that, about his honesty in recruiting, and I think Morris Udeze has been big for the Lobos the last year plus, because after the season, Morris talking about UNM, saying, hey, everything that they talked about is what happened. And when you're looking at graduate transfers, when you're looking at players in 1 or 2 year windows, that's what they want to hear, is if this is their last chance, like a Jamal Baker or even a Nelly Jr. Joseph, coming in for 1-2 years. They want to know that what they're hearing, what the expectation is going to be just that.
I want to win. And there's something, this is similar, and look, this is a philosophy, this is a program, and I don't know how long this lasts. Does this feel, the roster makeup here, does this feel a lot like what San Diego State, how they put together their roster over the last bunch of years? When you look at the composition of this line, of this roster.
Everyone is trying to be long and athletic.
Right, and they weren't last year. They just weren't.
Seeing that the Lobos were able to grab a nice handful of those guys.
Well, you know what's interesting here? Your 2 best guys are not long, right? They are athletic. They are dynamic players. And the word I've used for Jalen House, and DC, you're going to love watching him. Both these two guards, right? I've said Jalen House, JJ, I think you agree with me, is the most dynamic player we've seen around here in a long, long time. And Jamal Mashburn is the best mid-range shooter, period, we've seen in my whole time here, and as good of a guard as we've seen. So you've got two stars, but they're 6 feet, right? So it's been a bit of a defensive liability, although House led the league in steals. So what were you? Long and athletic, and you went out and got that. Right? And then you say, well, why did Pitino get a raise? Well, I mean, they're kind of doing their job, I think, in the offseason. Now, they haven't won anything yet. Would you bet the mortgage they finish better than 6th in this league next year?
Yes.
Don't tell your wife. I mean, I'm not asking you. Are we on the radio? Is this thing live? Are we on?
Yeah, today's my anniversary.
Is it really?
Hey, happy anniversary.
How many years?
5.
Happy anniversary, dude. That's a big. What's the 5th anniversary? I'll find it for you. I'll tell you what's.
That's a really good question. I should know that. I got to buy something on the way home.
Dude.
But, yeah, just don't let her know if we're putting down the mortgage.
She's not listening. Would you put down the? Well, you're probably not as familiar. What is the 5th anniversary? Is that what it is?
Big number 5.
That's kind of impressive. I didn't make it to there. What? Why are you laughing at me?
First time round, I didn't either.
Is this round 2? Yeah, I didn't make it there either, by the way. All right, anniversary gifts by year. What the hell? Come on, this shouldn't be that hard. Because this is important to you, right? I mean, it should be. Do you know what all these are?
What could work?
5. Just give me the damn year by year. All right, I'll get it to you when we get back. What the 5th anniversary gift is and what DC's got to get Mrs. DC next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Jim Rowe.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm just the messenger. Traditional 5th anniversary wedding gift is wood.
Yeah, I read that too. I thought I was going to slide by John Thomas and see what they had, but
in wood?
Yeah, in wood. I'm now at a loss.
You know, he might have something in wood, or
oh, I'm sure he's got something nice.
I know y'all are sitting there with your sick jokes. All right. Happy wooden anniversary. 5. Are you got a big night planned?
We're actually going out Saturday. We're
Yeah.
going to see Joe Gatto.
Yeah, all right. Big night. Happy anniversary, man. That's big. You just had 5, didn't you? Back on June. I know when it is. May 11th.
That is correct.
Your anniversary is May 11th. How impressive is that?
It's incredibly impressive. Really, statistically, it isn't supposed to shake out like that, but here we are.
It is kind of weird. So you just did 5?
Yes.
I remember your wedding. That was cool. And then I forgot your anniversary. And the only reason I know it is the day before my daughter's birthday. That's how I recall that every year. But yeah, May 11th. And now, what is it, June 8th, the day after my dad's. I should remember both of you guys easily like that. I won't forget an anniversary again. Yeah, I will. What's up? It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us. If you missed the Isaac Mushila conversation, it will be up wherever you get your podcasts, sportsoutofbq.com, and all those other places. Just put in opening drive. This is interesting. We've been talking about the Nuggets, and the word that came up this morning was boring, and I'm like, I just don't get it. And then somebody called and said predictable. Is that what they said? Predictable?
Predictable.
Okay, I don't get that either. Dan says the Nuggets equal the San Antonio Snores. They're boring, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. P.S. We need to get a ProView camera on Derek Charles. You getting a camera back there? Get on ProView?
Not that I know of, but I'm not opposed to it.
You can see him kind of in the side view of JJ's camera over there. But obviously, Dan's watching on the simulcast on ProView Network, so you can as well. Our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Give us a like while you're over there, too. Or Comcast Channel 26. Boring. Dan, I'm going to ask you to explain boring to me. What is boring about the way they play defense, the way they move the basketball, the way Nikola Jokic is doing it unlike anybody that we've ever seen in this game you could argue. All right, let me preface this. I'm not calling Nikola Jokic the best player that ever played. Can it be argued he's got the most complete basketball game of any player we've ever seen? He lacks defensively a bit. All right, defensively he lacks a little bit, although last night he was really good.
I appreciate that he's not a sieve. A lot of people just assume you can attack Joker in the pick and roll, that you just blow by him the entire time. It's easy. And that's not the case, because effort-wise, he is constantly putting in effort on defense. There's not a time during the game where you feel he's coasting. There's ups and downs. It's 48 minutes for everyone. But sometimes you'll hear people talk about certain offensive players and say, they kind of hide them defensively or they're coasting at moments. You don't get that from Nikola Jokic. Like, the dude is effort constantly. Is he the best defender? Nope, but he tries to make up for it because guess what he does? He gets his big body in the way, and then he crashes the boards. There's very few clean rebounds you can get against the Nuggets because his arms are up there, and he's tipping them, and he's tapping them, and he's trying to grab it. And rebounding is part of defense.
Right, so I don't think he's a defensive liability. I don't think he's a great, but I thought it was good last night. But it was really good last night. I thought it was good against Anthony Davis.
That's probably where he's made the biggest jump in his game.
100%.
His conditioning, and then just the fact that he knows where to be. Just put his big body in the way.
All right, go back to the Lakers series when they swept the Lakers. How was he against Anthony Davis? I thought he was pretty good. So, you get a reputation, you get a rap, and it's really hard to shake it. And so when people say, "Why he's not good defensively," I'd argue a little. I'm not going to tell you he's great, but okay. So factor that in, and then say he's 7 feet and can lead the break. He can handle the ball. He can shoot from three. He's as good as anybody in today's game with his back to the basket. He's as good as anybody in today's game passing the ball. I mean, would you tell me you think he's top 5 of the most complete players we've ever seen?
It's 2-time NBA MVP. He's doing it consistently in the postseason for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he never got to the finals, JJ. I mean, he couldn't take his team to the finals.
And this has been a fantastic era of basketball. Like the NBA, you take a step back, they've had just great players in this era.
Mm-hmm.
Not just LeBron James, but going back to Kobe. And when you start giving Tim Duncan his due, we're seeing Giannis doing his career, Kevin Durant, like LeBron James. And this dude is in that conversation.
Kevin Garnett.
It's not just, oh, here's these guys. I know he's having a good season. He's a flash in the pan. No, like Jokic is there with all those dudes.
You know what's been fascinating is somewhat the evolution, right? So the great players were the wings. Who are the 3 guys that you tell me right now are the best players in the game today? Is it in whatever order? Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Jokic and Kevin Durant? They're all 6'11", 7 feet, right? They all can shoot the 3 a little bit. They all can move. Like a decade ago, they all looked like Devin Booker, didn't they? They were the Kobes and they were the LeBrons and right. It's interesting how there was a time a decade ago where the big man was. Oh, we don't need a center. It's positionless basketball and you get caught on that forward is guy guard whatever. The evolution, and I think this is where in what 3 of those 4, Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic are international players.
Mm-hmm.
The evolution of the skilled, like the ultra-skilled big man. Look at the guy who's coming in the league. Victor Wembanyama. Right? This guy's 7'5". Look at the guy who was was he 2 overall last year? Chet Holmgren. Right? The ultra-skilled 7+ guy. The 7-footer isn't just a back-to-the-basket Kareem Abdul-Jabbar anymore. And I heard something yesterday, and it really made me think. European players have, and I'll go back to Nowitzki, have come in skilled. Their big guys have come into the league more skilled than maybe, and I say skilled, that means ball handling, defensive, passing, and perimeter shooting for big guys. Foreign big guys have come in more skilled at a younger age than Americans because, from what I understand, that skill is taught more than playing above the rim like it is in America. Does that make sense?
A lot of these guys, it's not high school basketball, there's club basketball, but if you're playing overseas, you're playing against professional basketball players. Like even if you're getting in at the lower level, like if you're good, you're working your way
playing
up
against men.
Yeah, you're playing pro basketball.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's where I know a lot of people think, and that's why the world is caught up in some respects, is what people say. That it's been different, that it's just the American game is highlights above the rim, and the international game is more of a skilled game and what you all call boring. Not you all. But so many of you, right? It's the Nikola Jokic game. Which one wins? I want you to think. There was a conversation. Did you catch the pregame show on ABC yesterday at all before the game? So David Stern, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was on the set with Mike Greenberg and Jalen and Stephen A. and Wilbon. By the way, did you see Jalen Rose on Celebrity Jeopardy? He had minus points. Like he owed money to get out of there. Like he had to pay to be able to leave. Yeah, dude, it's tough now. We were watching Celebrity Jeopardy. He's like, "Who's that dude?" She's killing him, right? She's getting all these answers. And Jalen's like, "Man, I don't know." And he's just push the buzzer and throwing something. Like at the end, they gave him $1,000 just so he could play Final Jeopardy, and he lost that. It's like, dude, you got to pay us before you can leave. Anyway,
you owe us money, Jalen Rose.
A whole other story. But I think it was Wilbon who asked David, I can't stop, Adam Silver, about the All-Star format and should we go with an international versus U.S. All-Star format instead of LeBron's team versus Giannis's team. So since you guys didn't hear the response, first of all, what do you think of that?
Well, they do it for the Rising Stars game.
Okay, but not for the NBA All-Star.
Not for the NBA All-Star.
So what do you think of that format? Do you like that?
I do not have a problem with it being the All-Star game. And if one year you do want to have dudes picking teams, next you want to have World versus United States, I think that would be a good thing for them to do.
What do you think?
I agree. I in thinking about that, I like the idea of seeing the American game versus the international game in that All-Star setting.
All right, he said it's been talked about, but the reason they don't do it is because the pool size is not the same, meaning there's way more American players to choose from, which means it would be unfair to the American players. There's less international players, so a higher percentage, and these guys get bonused on making the All-Star game, and so there'd be a higher percentage of international players that would make the All-Star team as opposed to American players. That was what he was saying. And then Stephen A. asked him about coaching salaries and specifically Monty Williams. And the commissioner's response to Stephen A. was, Stephen A., when you got your new contract, did it reset the market? And he was like, which I thought was a great response. I haven't even thought about until last night what I thought, like what would the international All-Star team look like? It would be Luka. Jamal Murray's international, right? He's Canadian?
Team Canada.
So it would be Luka, and it would be Embiid and Jokic and Murray and soon to be Victor Wembanyama. Be pretty good, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you're just going off of
Pascal Siakam,
this year's All-Star game,
okay,
Lauri Markkanen, would be another play in there. Domantas Sabonis.
Yep.
You said Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that.
And then the American All-Star team would be...
You might take that team over LeBron, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Edwards,
Steph Curry,
Aaron Fox, Paul George, Tyrese Halliburton, Jaren Jackson Jr., Julius Randle, Steph Curry.
Be interesting, right?
KD.
I'd watch it. Yeah.
Just going through those lineups, that would be fantastic to watch.
It would be, right? Yeah, it would be. All right, well, somebody's going to get a ring. We're going to talk about game number 4. When do I get game 4? How many days off is that? Friday. All right. Talk about that. I told you why I think Denver wins. They've been more consistent. I'd love to know what you think. I'll read you some of your correspondence. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. 888-922-0610. And you can get here. I got lots more thoughts on the NBA from you. And I'll read those to you as well. You know who else is going to get a ring? You can. You get a ring, and you get a ring, and you get a ring. Hey, if you're looking for that engagement ring, it's your 5th anniversary. You need that special gift. Get over to John Thomas Jewelers. John Thomas Jewelers is the best jeweler, period. It's so different than anywhere else you've been. And I noticed that the first day I walked in there. When I first met John, I got a tour of the place, their facility, their design facility, their repair facility. It's all on site. And that's why John Thomas Jewelers does more custom jewelry in a week than most jewelers do in a year, because they do it here in Albuquerque. They don't ship it to LA or New York or wherever else other places do it. You want that ring, you want it to be special. You want it to be something that is you and your partner. You go in there and they'll help you design it. And I know you're going to say, I don't get it. It's a blind spot. They'll walk you through it. The process will be simple and you will love what you design, what you make, what you get. And they have a nationwide free lifetime warranty. They're the only preferred jeweler in Albuquerque, and that's why they're able to do that. That means it's warranted and guaranteed nationwide for the life of the piece. Now, right now at John Thomas Jewelers, they've got something going where if you spend just $5,999, they're giving away a 7-night all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic. So if you're looking to get engaged, there's the ring and the honeymoon. If you're looking to celebrate your 5th anniversary, there's your trip and a gift. Anybody. This isn't a contest. It's a gift. $59.99, you get the trip. All-inclusive food, drinks, everything else. JohnThomasJewelers.com, 3rd floor, Lewis University building, right across the street from the Coronado Mall to the east, 1 block south of Manal on Louisiana. John Thomas Jewelers. If you can dream it, they will make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early. I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine. Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes. Wait, what? Seth? We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
Global Football got a new receiver, transferred from the SEC. Caden Pope was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school in Tennessee. Went to Mississippi State for a year, playing for Zach Arnett and Mike Leach over there. And so they have another wide receiver. He's the 4th transfer since the spring portal window closed. and that fills up what they've got on scholarships, and it's I look, I don't know. This is kind of the same concept, right? Let me see him on the field, JJ. My thought last year, and I was pretty vocal about this, I just didn't think the Lobos football had playmakers. To me, it wasn't scheme. It wasn't. I didn't think they had the dogs. And it feels like they got a quarterback in that's won games. He won a bowl game last year. That they've got competition at quarterback. It feels like they've gone out and got playmakers, both at the running back and the wide receiver position. It feels like they shored up the line and got some defense. Like all the right things. They've been quietly confident. I don't know if Zach Arnett and Danny Gonzalez's relationship had anything to do with the transfer. I would assume it may have. Zach Arnett, the former La Cueva star, former Lobo, is now the head coach at Mississippi State. But keep bringing me athletes. Keep bringing me guys that can make plays. Because to me, JJ, this wasn't – you're going to tell me it was a scheme thing, and it was a scheme thing that was limited because of what they could do, right, offensively. I think it played into each other. You had one receiver on the outside who was unreliable.
It was a combination.
Okay. But I think the scheme was limited by what the athletes were.
Yeah. But there's also, with that scheme, you have a brand new offense coordinator this year. So it's one working at, all right, you have to get more talented, period. But what is the best way to maximize that talent? And you're going to see an offense that looks very familiar if you watched the Lobos in the 2000s.
I'm looking forward to seeing their offense. I am. I think they're going to be noticeably better, and they have to be.
It's going to be a lot of zone reads.
Okay.
So the zone running scheme. So the running back going to have options in which hold a hit, inside zone, outside zone, under center, play action. I had it because, of course, our friend Ned James is already in full football mode. He texted me yesterday. He said, Bryant Vincent, the last 2 games at UAB, they ran the football over 80 times in 2 games.
Okay.
So you're getting that.
Bryant Vincent is their
the new offense coordinator for the Lobos. So you're going to get that under center, run the football, play action, bootleg game from the Lobos.
Oh, no, it's boring.
Yes, it is. Because you cannot put a 3rd digit on the scoreboard doing that.
Remember when the Lobos led the nation in rushing?
I thought it was pretty exciting.
I did too.
Especially when you're breaking off 75-yard touchdown. Right?
Regularly. Like that was the 9-win year. They were pretty exciting. But they're boring. They don't throw the ball all over there. Some reason a long pass is way more exciting than a guy busting a long run. Okay. Rod says 1 month until Jefferson in Vegas. Is it a month? It's coming up on a month.
Yeah.
My new favorite event of the year. It's been too long since we had a good offseason. Guys worked hard. We got a great recruiting class. I love our staff. We've worked hard to change the culture. And my new favorite, we think we're improved, but our conference is so tough. It's from Rod. P.S. Where are the scholarships coming from all these new guys Lobo football's adding? The number has to be approaching 50 since Gonzalez told the OD 4 players would expire their eligibility at the end of the 2022 season. I think they're right at the number now. You going to Media Day too?
Yep.
Okay. It's at the Circa this year. Totally different spot.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, totally different spot. DC, we go to, on a regular basis, we go to Mountain West Media Day. I've gone for years. JJ was gone the last couple of years. And we'll bring back probably 4 to 5 weeks worth of interviews from all around the league, coaches, players, telling different stories. And, yeah, we hear a lot about culture and working hard in the offseason. I've yet to hear a coach tell me that he didn't like his recruiting class and that they didn't work hard in the offseason. But this league is become interesting. And the coaches, I think it's been interesting for a while. But I look at what Boise State is and San Diego State and Fresno State. You expect Colorado State to be better. Air Force has been a 10-win team for how long? Craig Bull's been consistent winner up at Wyoming. And then what does UNLV do with a new coach? And what does Nevada do with what they're building? And San Jose State was a bowl team again last year, right? And Brennan is a terrific coach up there. I think he's the most underrated coach in this league. I was looking at football the other day, and I think we're in for another kind of fun Mountain West season.
It's always an interesting league because there's the true power at the top.
And then Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State.
San Diego State, and then Fresno State.
I know you don't buy
they're
into
underrated.
Yeah, I know you don't buy in as much as I do. With Tedford there, I think they're going to be consistent. He's won consistently since he's been.
Yeah, they've had the biggest swings of anyone. From
they're the defending champion.
3-win seasons to winning the league.
You know they're the defending champion, and people forget that.
It's wild. They are the one that you're like, oh yeah, it's not just Derek Carr. It's like they've been able to have a really good season since then.
In the quarterback they had from Oregon State, the transfer. Jake Kanter came from Washington, but they consistently find a good transfer quarterback who comes in and puts up gigantic numbers. Jake Kanter got drafted. They're consistently good.
Yeah, it's just walking around like we're just here because we have to be. So we're just here so we don't get fined.
Until we're not. Yeah. Then you got Hawaii, what Timmy's building out there, and it's going to be interesting. They got better as their season went on. You totally expect Jay Norvell to get Colorado State going, don't you? Oh, by the way, Blake Anderson and Utah State are always good. They went to a bowl game again last year. Right? Consistent, always good. I thought they were the most disappointing. They were the defending champions. To get bowl eligible, their quarterback got hurt. This has been a really interesting quarterback league because you've had, I mean, if you go back over the last couple of years, some of the quarterback play, whether it's Utah State and not only just Jordan Love, but why am I forgetting the young man that transferred from Arkansas State?
You've over the last few years, it's been fascinating. You've had first-round NFL draft picks.
Yes.
At multiple schools.
Yes. 2 of them, Wyoming and Utah State. Yeah. First-round picks out of this league. Quarterback. Yeah.
The position.
Yeah. Josh Allen and Jordan Love. Yeah. And then you look up and down and you're just going, wow, there's defensive guys, there's linemen. And it's been really, really, really impressive. All right, when we come back, everything you need to know as you go into your day today. We didn't hit on Rory. I've got a couple of thoughts on what Rory had to say yesterday using the term sacrificial lamb. And I want to comment, and I know you got thoughts on that as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
Richard Pitino was telling you he loves it here, and I think he does. Hope you listened to that today. You got to listen to Isaac Mashila, the Lobo guard who transferred from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And if you didn't hear that conversation, I think it's worth some time. Go find it wherever you get your podcasts. It's on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, and wherever you get your podcast. Young man from the Congo, went to Ohio and Wyoming and Texas, and now is here in Albuquerque. And I was just thoroughly impressed by that young man and his composure and his maturity and his outlook on the whole thing. I think that's worth a listen, don't you?
Of course.
Go take a look at that. All right. Tax line, 25 to 35% of players on NBA rosters in the 70s and 80s, JJ, would not make a roster today because they aren't good enough. Maybe. I think if you gave a lot of those players today's training, nutrition, coaching, many of them would be good enough. Many of them would. It's hard to compare eras, is it not?
It is.
This one says from Richard, help on the way. Isotopes lost last night. He's not happy with it. For the last few years, the OD, we've heard Rockies suck at the major league and AAA level, but AA, that's where JJ's organization shines. Well, the Yard Goats are mired near the bottom of their league, too. Where's the Hartford help coming from? Don't know, Richard. I don't think it is. I think it's another year of go out to the ballpark and eat the apple fritter brisket sandwich. What's that called?
The Dentist Delight.
It was good, wasn't it? Dude, we went out for the food tasting. This was before you. They had us out for the new food. So there's a brisket sandwich. The bread is 2 apple fritters. There's like was it an apple coleslaw on it and a barbecue sauce and onion strings?
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound close?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
That sounds delicious.
It was actually really, really good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, so go out and enjoy the food, and yeah, they're not going to win a lot. At least they're not doing it now. What date is it, Jeffers? Yesterday it felt warm enough finally to move winter clothes to the back of the closet. It's from Ren. Yeah, it was nice yesterday. June 8th is the date, by the way. I know since we don't get newspapers anymore, a lot of people don't know. I look at the top of the newspaper. This says the most unique position in the history of sports, Jeff. How do the Dodgers play the last 3 months of the season? Already close to clinching home court in the PCL tournament. How do it's interesting. I don't know who gets home field. So in the PCL, the Isotopes League, if you're not familiar with what they're doing this year, there are 2 halves. So instead of 2 divisions, there's 1 division and 2 halves, and the winner of each half will play in the playoffs. If the same team wins the 2 halves, the team in second place will play in the playoffs. I don't know what the strategy is. I think it's to develop and keep going out and winning every day, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, I don't know the answer for you. All right, what did I tease right before? Rory. All right. So, DC, you played some Rory yesterday. Can I give you this breaking news before we do that? Minnesota Vikings are going to release Dalvin Cook today. The key to everything they've done, he's going to be released. He's due $10.4 million of base salary this year, 11.9 next year, 12.9 the year after. So 27-year-old running backs on the market. That's just coming down. Came down a little while ago. All right, Rory yesterday said he felt like he was a sacrificial lamb, right? That was the word he used, correct? I got a different feel when I watched him than just when I heard him yesterday. His press conference was going on while we were on the air, and you were playing some of it where he said, I hate live. Or I hate, how does he say hate live? I hit live. I hit them. I still hit them. I love that accent. But he said the frustration you could see when he said, yeah, I'm kind of the sacrificial lamb. But he totally backed up Jay Monahan, and he said that he believed golf's going to be a better place. And you can't compete with the guy who's got all the money, and, well, then let's take their money and do good with it. Watching him made me feel so different than just listening to him. Did you see some of it yesterday?
Yes.
That looked like a guy that was as pissed as he should be. Does that make sense?
It looks like a guy that is aged 27 years.
100%.
3 months.
Yes. So what did you hear when you saw him? I know that's totally different, right? But you hear with your eyes sometimes, right? What did you hear when you saw him?
A dude that had to suck it up because he wants to be a pro golfer. And this is his life. This is what he loves, but he hates everything about live golf, the people around it, the interactions he's had with some of the stars of live golf. And he is just coming to the understanding of this is what it has to be, is they're going to be a part of it. Now, I have no idea, because everything you're starting to hear, there was a live golf players meeting, and according to sources, live golfers were told nothing is going to change. Live golf is going to be the exact same
So
thing.
they were lied to, too.
They're going to get to play in whatever tour they want moving forward, but they're still going to have teams. They're still going to have three-day no.
Oh, this
events.
was after the announcement? Okay.
And so live golf is going to be absolutely the same.
Is what they're being told.
So their lives aren't changing. And so you just take a step back and go, what was the point of this? What needed saving? What was broken about golf? And then I know DC was joking about it. Jay Monahan, the dude probably has a bag no one knows about.
No, that's what I told them yesterday. I said, what did he get? Because he's going to get run out, and there's got to be a parachute
Because this
bag
makes
for him.
zero sense.
Yeah.
That everything's staying the same, but now you're buddy, and they just are giving you money, but nothing is changing.
So I think what changes is there's going to be some way to establish a world rankings and points that include all 3 tours.
And you could have done that
Yes,
without selling the game of golf.
Right. But now you're taking
Yeah.
their money into yours. And so what's changed? That you'd be able to utilize the Saudi money and the PGA Tour and put that towards your purses. And that's what's changed. That's bailing them out. So if they both, I've heard 2 totally different
Just what it's like
items.
So what changed in a year for you?
Well, but I've heard that Liv's not going to be there, and I heard Liv is. So I don't know. When I hear Rory, I hear, stop coming to me to talk about this. Like I hear, I'm done being the spokesperson for this. I did what I believed in, and you guys crapped all over me, just right down my neck. And I'm just going to go play golf. He says, I think ultimately when I try to remove myself from the situation and I look at the bigger picture, I look 10 years down the line, I think ultimately it's going to be good for the game of professional golf. I think it unifies and it secures the financial future, end quote. So I think he's right? For the players, there's going to be more money. And so ultimately 10 years down the line, are they all going to be making more money? I think that's right. For him to sit there and have to eat the crap that he's eating, he's got to just be choking. And JJ, he looked like, you're right, he looked like he aged 20 years. Looked like a different cat. He looked like he's tired of talking about it, tired of being in it. You know what? I'm done with you all. I'm just going to go play golf. And it'll be really interesting how the interaction between, I think the rank and file players are going to be fine, right? I think your Scott Stallings and your Taylor Gooches are going to be fine. But what about the guys who are the front guys? What's Phil Mickelson and Rory McIlroy going to be like when they're paired? Right? I'm not worried about the guys, Pat Perez being paired with Colin Morikawa. Are you? It's the guys who were super vocal about it.
I don't think it.
Look, Rory put his reputation on the line. He put his relationships on the line. He put his whole professional persona on the line. And they betrayed him. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I just, man, when I watched it, I got such a different feel than just when I listened to it.
It seemed like, and I hate to put it this way, it's like Beyonce when they're asking him about Jay-Z cheating on him. Like,
right.
It felt like someone was cheating on him. It's crazy.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Thank you to Isaac Mushila. He was with us today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you missed it, suggest you find it. It's a good listen. The podcast is up. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then you get Isotopes Baseball against the Sugarland Space Cowboys. We're back tomorrow morning. More award-winning radio begins at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the visuals. DC, another great job. Thanks for everything. Making the show better. Appreciate you.
Predictable.
Not really. Not yet. Big day for you. Oh, by the way, happy anniversary to you and Mrs. DC.
Yes, thank you very much.
Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.